Good morning, everybody. We had just a little bit of glitch out in cyberspace this morning, so I'm a minute or so late, but here we are, Coffee, Tea, and Me with Sandra Harrick. And I want to say hello to the universe, hello to the world, hello to you out there in this wonderful, wonderful realm of the Believe TV system. Let's cheers. Good morning to my producer, Denise Iwana Francisco, who's over there on the other side. Good morning, the big wave. Let's get busy today because today, a half hour goes fast. And I want to start the day with what Dana always asks me to do, and that is a meditation, because this is that place where denial and healing, my topic for today, is so contemporary in its being necessary for us to really start to take stock in the fact that healing the soul, healing the spirit, healing the crest of our shadow and light is so mandatory or so in our face. And the object of denial is something that we have nested in for eons, because personal work or being able to look at yourself and self-reflect is not something that has been a modality for humankind, because you were told to buck up, get over it, stop crying, or I'll give you something to cry about. Or just do what you're supposed to do and be who you are supposed to be. Those days are finding their limitation. And in that, we are being squeezed. So let's take a deep breath and look at the bright side, the horizon. Close your eyes. And first and foremost, because I want to come out of denial, it's important to know as we inhale that this air we breathe is precious. It's important that we take responsibility for keeping fresh air fresh, now as the humans on this planet. As we take another breath, it is important to really start being aware of the fact that we are responsible for how we inhale. We have a choice in making certain that we are aware of our breath. We take responsibility for inhaling and listening to the way that we breathe at certain times of the day, to pause, pay attention, smell. As we come into that place of our own inner being, it is now time to take responsibility to look at what it is that appears on the inside. Do you see a darkness and just expect that nothing is there? Or do you allow that interior vision to slowly come from the depth of the interior of your soul's mind, to hear with your inner listening? What are the thoughts that you have? What are the visions you create? Are you reflecting only in the back? Are you only seeing what you are limited to see? Or are you looking for another lens to adjust it, to bring things into focus? To know that we have options. And we'll take one more breath, and to really take that responsibility of knowing that when I open my eyes, I bring to the conscious place, the conscious realm, the ability to look, see, and have the choice of thinking about it, wondering about it. And to know that truly there are times right now that are absolutely blatantly insane. And I have the right, the choice, and the need to bring sanity, a sense of saneness, peace, and calm into my life, my space, my immediate environment. Bring yourself again with that next breath into your everyday life by opening your eyes. And just look around. Where are you? Where are we? And one of the greatest things that we can do to come out of denial when it is time to heal is to not look so far out into the future that we cannot see it. Is to not look so far into the past that we don't see that we have survived it already. To be able to know that healing is an inertia. It is an option. Is it an opportunity? And healing does not mean, and I mean this from the center of my heart, and I have that awareness to even come out of denial with, when I choose to heal, it doesn't mean that everything that I want has been erased. It means, again, I offer the lens to be altered, to reflect differently, to see differently. And yes, there is that miracle of, I am free from whatever it is that's had me in bondage, but that I then am different in my way of experiencing life because I want life to be different. So what is denial? What is healing? First and foremost, I think denial is something that we have as a mechanism. So I want to be able to talk about denial as a buffer. There are things when we see things that are horrific or things that are just so overwhelming that we minimalize it. We back it down and go, oh, well, he only hits me once in a while. Oh, well, he's only broken my nose. Oh, well, my father used to beat me, and sometimes I would get the buckle, but most times I just got the strap. And so our mind talks like this. Oh, yeah, my parents drank, but they were always drank. So how do we start coming out of what it is that we ourselves start to become so accustomed to? The bizarreness, the outrage, the horror is a normal experience. For us as Americans, I am going to be really blatant here, we do not live in a culture that is being attacked by war. And so we do not have to look at the broken down, shot out buildings. And yet when we see on the news where children are playing in their environment, they are playing in a war zone that for them has become unbelievably normal. Our denial says we see it, but we don't have to associate with it. So we close it off, we put it away. Unless we are empathic, profoundly empathic, and see it and do something about it. Feel that there is a death to the soul. And then how do we choose to bring new life to a soul that is now in the state of being barren? That's a very large spectrum. So let me boil it down a little bit. What is denial? Denial in your home, in your immediate home, is how do you keep your home? Are you messy? Are you scattered? Are you overwhelmed? Are you tidy? Are you tight? Take a look and see how you maintain your life. When you see how you maintain your life, you'll then see how you maintain your body, or how you maintain your awareness of who's around you, how you allow them to influence you, and what you're doing about it. So if there's clutter in your house, and I know, hey, I get clutter. My denial goes, it's time to clean up and make space. Healing is as simple as I need a new palette. I need a clean canvas. I get up out of my lethargicness, because if we're not motivated to do something to clear the space, we are profoundly lethargic. It becomes too big of a task to deal with. The denial is in the assumption I can't do it, so I do nothing. When we decide to do nothing, this is what happens to the art of healing. We become complacent. We self-judge. We assume we can't take care of our own environment, whether it's through the smell of something, the visual of something, the feeling or something, or the involvement with something. And when we become lethargic, we do not have the energy to motivate ourselves with how can I take the first step? One of the great things of all the plans of AA or, anything that's anonymous, codependency and everything, anybody that really needs some help and doesn't want to go to a therapist on some way, go to where a program is called Al-Anon. And I'm being very, very, very rudimental here in saying Al-Anon is a place where you can go to come out of the denial of your own behavior that keeps you stagnant in always projecting, if they change, I'm better. If they change, my life will be better. If I get them to do what I want, then they will be better. If I do what they won't do, then I will be better. Codependency is one of those things where we come out of the denial of seeing how we are functioning in our lives that we are not aware of, that keeps us dysfunctional. Healing is how to function in your world in the process of transformation. Healing is transformational energy where you take something that is degrading you, breaking you down, taking away your life force, and stagnating you or pausing you in a place that is saying, come pay attention to me. Come look at the reality of what is here. Face it with some bravery. It doesn't mean you have to throw the window open, throw up the blind, and be blazingly blinded by the light. It means we also can peek. We can also lift and have step by step the awareness that there is shadow, shade, dusk, twilight, daylight, dawn, light. Even healing, and I mean this because of my own personal experience, that I was in the light and it was so bright and it was so blatant and it never turned off. There's Gabrielle. That I had to turn the rheostat down. Because if we're living on cortisol, if we're living on adrenaline, if we're living at that high antenna vibrating where we have to receive every ounce of news, we have to know exactly what's going out there. If you take your finger off the pulse, you will think you will die. And the very thing is, you need to take your finger off that pulse and put it back on your heart and realize to calm down. Take your mind off the drama of what is traumatizing you and come back to your own breath. Living in the brightness of too much fries our nerve endings, fries our sense of how to be calm and repair in the normal cycles of awake, doze, sleep, deep sleep, dream, recover, reevaluate, wake up, and re-engage. Meditation allows us to do that during our awake hours. Meditation is something that I talk about in that place of I can close my eyes and do this, and that is a full engaged meditation for that blip in my world, because it just shuts down what it is that's overstimulating me and gives my nervous system the break it needs from being engaged with the external vibration or the external distraction from me being in touch with me. There is so much suicide going on right now. It would be insensitive to me, or for me, not to mention that. God bless Anthony Bourdain and anybody else that has taken their lives ever. suicide is that place where it can happen in an instant and someone truly is gone in an instant. But suicide and dis-ease is not something that happens in an instant. It's something that collects. It's something that takes time to motivate a decision to almost be in such a state of overwhelm that there is no resolve. So today is not about that topic. But we will get to that topic on some time. But that's what I'm talking about today, is how do you collect the sanity of remembering that we're born sane and life happens to us that kind of drives us crazy? And can we remember our own sanity? Sanity is when we have our own ideas from that innocent place that I am here. Not what am I doing to someone, not is what somebody's doing to me. It's that I am here. I'm connected to my breath. I'm connected to my environment. I am aware that I have a body. And in the moment, my body is safe. Hyperadrenaline is when we go into that absolute rotation of, am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? Oh, okay. Am I safe? Am I safe? Oh, am I safe? And it is important to know that in childbirth, it's not safe to be born. It's a big dilemma. you got a 50% chance and sometimes less to come out and make it. Our first experience at birth to come out and survive. When we come out, our adrenaline is on hyper alert to get there, be in survival, and we are feral. We look for food, we look for comfort, we look for flesh. Those primal needs never stop. The very first instincts that we have as a newborn child, makes me want to cry, are the core feelings that we have until the day we die. I have to make sure I can talk on. There's that place of when we are born, the very first thing is the child's scent. It looks for the scent that comes out of the nipple of the lactating mother that now has, I forget what the name of it is, but it's not even milk yet. And it's the vitamins and minerals and the nectar that a child needs to download the antibodies to their body to be safe in the environment of their birth. We need to hear a heart, because the thing that we hear inside of a mother is her heartbeat. It is the pulse that beats against us. So if you do not have a physical companion in the flesh of a person, we do seek our animals to bring that breath, that we hear the breath of someone breathing, that we hear the heartbeat, that we can look into the eyes. What does a child do when they look up? They come into and they look for that gaze. Whether they see it or not, or it registers, we are looking for that gaze. And interestingly enough, one of the most important things that we can do as we are growing up in order to find peace is to gaze into the mirror and see ourselves. There is a touchstone inside of us. This is so important that when we look in the mirror, we can find that core being that does have the awareness of fright or flight, stillness, pause. I'm on your side. I am the champion for you that will take the opportunity to reach out and engage with reality. I can see something real in me. When someone chooses to stay in denial, they have literally these beings, these entities, these aspects of yourself, many, many things that you can qualify, that look at you when you look in the mirror and disqualify you from feeling connected. To look in the mirror and find yourself is to come into the reality that you exist before your very eyes. When you look in the mirror and say, I don't like what I see, I don't feel a connection, that is when you really do need to take that next step and come out of the denial and know that there's someone in there that's worth finding, that is calling to you to even look. Come out of the denial that you don't exist unless you have someone, unless there's someone with you. Because if you do not feel qualified inside yourself, I'm unworthy, then how can anybody even choose you as what it is that you want to engage with? And I will be very, very primal here and say that is community. That's the community inside ourselves that we need in order to feel that we gather. When we're alone, we're at peace. When we're alone, we can exist within our own. What do we do? How do we activate ourselves? How do we participate? How do we feel within our own mind? Feeling crazy is normal these days. And we can listen to it because it's amazing to hear what people say that we think is crazy and they think is normal. So there's that place of coming into the peace of who we are with knowing my thoughts have got to listen to what is something that's really being said that I choose to listen to. I choose to debate in my reality, my choice to be me. One of the greatest things that's happening in our world today is that we are so exposed to everybody else's opinion that we are overwhelmed or we are confused with why everybody is so different from who we are, why everybody thinks so differently. This is not new. This has been happening since the beginning of time. We're just exposed to it now. We can push a button and see anything. So I ask you to look in the mirror, look in the lens of what you're touching, look into the information that you're corresponding with, really edit. And at times, come away from what you feel is taking you away from you. Denial is that you don't have an existence unless someone tells you what to be because you're too frightened to have an opinion or a decision on your own self-care. Denial is also when you think, when someone says, you need to be cared for, you need to be held, you need to be brought close again to the chest and the heart so you can realign yourself because you've been annihilated, you've been obliviated, or you're oblivious to the fact that you have been almost taken from yourself. That is the generosity of healing. I'm getting goosebumps. This makes me want to cry. So there's that place where if you are in trouble, the hotline for suicide is out there. The hotline for alcoholism is out there. The hotline for abuse is out there. Whatever it is that you feel is affecting you, the hotline for drugs, the hotline for even loneliness is out there. That you are looking for a voice and an ear. The voice is when someone says, hello. What can I help you with? And you have the courage, even in your silence, not to hang up. They will then ask the question, what can I do for you? Where are you? Are you safe? I think one of the greatest things that happened to me just a couple of weeks ago in my own women's group is when someone was saying, literally, well, I would like to just put my head on someone in bed. I would like to know someone's there. I'd like to feel love. To watch the beauty of that person's face and the age that person's face became was like a child that wanted to nest up into the cuddle of a stuffed animal or an animal or the mother or father. And in my own intelligence, there was a download of reality. And I came out of denial of, yes, everybody wants love. Yes, everybody wants love. Everybody wants love because they think if they are loved, guess what? They're safe. Being loved doesn't necessarily mean you're safe. What we are really all looking for is to feel safe. And coming out of denial means so many people in my practice, and including myself, when there is danger, when there is that place of a need for change, when you say, well, when they're good, and I love them, so I'm going to stick it out. And the inside says, but I'm not being loved safely. I'm not in a place with my health that's safe for me. My child is not safe. What do I do about that? My environment is not safe. I'm not breathing the right air. I'm not eating the right food. I'm not drinking. Whatever your issue is, it is about, am I safe? Am I safe in the moment so that I can reflect, see, think, and act? Denial is the greatest weapon against you. It demands you not to succeed. It haunts you to not become real. It challenges you not to see the truth and face it. Denial is that voice of a parent that said you can't, or your abuser said that you're always going to be at the loss for your reality. I have you trapped. When you are young, all of a sudden we feel, if I don't fight this, I'm not alive. The choice to heal is you deciding to reflect inside yourself the gratitude that the history of any and all of your abuse, you've already survived. So there's something that chooses to heal because it keeps you in the frame for an opportunity to keep it on target. I know we're at the top of the hour and I need to say goodbye. My name is Sandra Harrick. I can be found at soulawakenings.com or .org. I'm sorry. My website is soulawakenings.org. You can email me at sandraharrick@me.com. If you are looking for a hotline, Google it. Everything is out there. Coming out of denial may be sad, but it will save your life and the people's lives around you. I want to thank you for visiting me. Visit my show, visit my site, visit your heart, visit your reality. And know it's a good day when you decide, I'm going to heal and step out of denial. Have a great day and have a sip of coffee. Bye.